Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I live at I live up in Mountain Village, Colorado. And if you want to find anything about me, you can go to the MySpace where I have a page. This here is a concept that I have already pitched one time on YouTube, and I've written about it for years. But I'm pitching it again on YouTube because of the fact that the video that I have prior to this one has a roaring sound in the back, and so some people are having a hard time hearing it, which is understandable. So hopefully this video will be a little bit better. This video, or this concept pitch that I'm making here, deals with how to stop the credit card companies, phone companies, and any company you pay through. You pay a payment, you send a payment to through the mail, to stop them from falsely accusing you of making a late payment. It's done very simply. It all centers around the postmark on your envelope. And to make this a reality, Congress would have to probably step in, and the United States Postal Service would have to step in. First of all, here's the first thing that needs to be done. The Postal Service, the United States Postal Service, needs to put together a small team of experts who their job is to determine how long it takes for a letter to go from one location to the next. Now, on average, let's say if I'm from here in Mountain Village, Colorado, I send it to Denver, a minimum of 3 days. Okay, so if I mail the letter on the 1st, it should get there on the 3rd or the 4th. Basically, they would need to probably maybe extend it an extra day. They would have to record this, and it really wouldn't be that difficult for them to do that. It sounds like it would be a big task. It wouldn't be. They can just estimate, and then they add one extra day onto it, and I'll explain why they need to add an extra day onto it. Now, I can mail a letter from here to Florida, and the average duration would be 5 days because I'm in the mountains, and it takes a little bit longer for it to get out of this area, to get to another location. So let's say the post office puts this together, they put it down in a book, a pamphlet, and then of course they distribute it throughout the nation, at all the post office offices in America, and it would be put online. Definitely be put online. Now remember that. Now let's say I have to send a bill. Let's say I have a credit card payment, and it has to go from here, from Telluride, or Mountain Village, Colorado, to Panama City, Florida. Okay, the duration is about 5 days. Now, I send the bill out. I send my payment with the bill out on the 1st of the month. It's due by the 5th of the month. So I send it out, and it arrives on the 6th of the month. Well, technically, they can't bill me for a late payment, because I sent it out with 5 days duration, and that means I gave it 5 days to get there. Now, it may have got lost in the mail. It may have been delayed because of a snowstorm. We just had a snowstorm here, and so when we have snowstorms here, the mail kind of gets held up. Sometimes it doesn't even get delivered. You can't. It's just sometimes it's possible. They do it. They deliver it most of the time, and they do an outstanding job here about getting the mail to people. But there's just some days it's just too bad. The plane can't come in. The trucks can't make it in. And that's just the way it is. But the way things are set up, if you send a bill out with payment and it arrives late, even though it's not your fault, or you sent it out on time, you still get stuck with a late payment. That should be illegal. So what I'm trying to say is that when you send your payment with your bill out, and you send it on the day, giving it the right time, you send it out on the right day, to where it has the proper time to get there, and it gets there late, by law, they cannot charge you a late fee. They have to, and see, what I'm trying to say also to you is that when we mail out payments to the internet, to the cable service, phone companies, credit card companies, we're guilty until proven innocent if they claim that we sent our payment out late. They don't have to prove it. Well, now they're going to have to prove it. What they have to do to prove that you sent a late payment out and you didn't give it time to get there is they're going to have to make a copy of the envelope you sent. That means with your writing on it as well, and showing the postmark, showing that you mailed it out too late for it to have proper time to get there, and it did not get there on time, and so we're charging you a late payment. You see where I'm coming from? They now have to prove it. I'm doing what the Republicans did in 1994, where they changed the law. That may have been actually 1995 when they changed the law, I believe, Where the IRS used to be able to accuse you of, tax evasion. They could claim you didn't pay your taxes. They didn't have to prove it. You were guilty until proven innocent. Republicans came in and changed that law and said, no, the IRS has to prove you're guilty until you're innocent until proven guilty. They have to prove you guilty in the court of law, like every other law in the land. It seemed like the IRS was the only ones who could claim you were guilty, and you had to prove your innocence. That goes against our Constitution. It was the Democrats who never wanted to change that. They liked it that way. Well, that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to say that the internet companies, any company or business that you have to mail a payment to, okay, with your bill, and they claim you make a false, that you mailed in your payment late, well, they have to prove it. They must prove it. And they don't do that. You're guilty until proven innocent, but how do you prove yourself innocent? Unless you go to court. You see where I'm coming from? The postmark on your envelope is the key. And the United States Postal Service can help us out here by giving a duration time. You'll have a booklet and you go online that says, okay, from Telluride, Colorado, or Mountain Village, you want to mail a letter to Panama City, Florida. Well, you need to give it 5 days. Okay, if I mail it out on time and it gets there late because it got lost or something like that, they cannot charge me a late fee. I mailed it out in time. That's what I'm trying to say. That's how we can take billions of dollars out of their pockets. That's how we consumers can keep billions of dollars in our pocket, not individually, of course. That's how we can really stick it to them, and that's something Congress failed to do in their so-called reform. Because right now the credit card companies just raise hikes, and it's time to really go after these people because these are criminal enterprises who falsely accuse us of late payments, of all kinds of not paying this, not paying that, and they don't have to prove anything, and then they can go right after our credit and destroy it. That should not be legal. That's not business. That's why I got rid of my credit card. I may get a debit card next time around. But anyhow, that's how this can be done. And you need to contact your congressional representative and pitch this idea to them and get this on the letter to the editors, put it on the internet, get it around, and show that there is a way to sock it to these businesses big time. Thank you for your time.